Alright, now for the last shape. I've moved to a different area that's a bit drier. My hands don't take too long to dry out. That clay certainly does dry it out. But that table had gotten too wet, was no longer very efficient for rolling on. It was really sticking. Okay, so I've got my 4 balls made. And so I'm going to go ahead and try and make something like this shape here. So I've got it out in front of me, even though you guys don't see it. It's off to the side so I can take a look at it as I work. Always important to have your drawing out in front of you. Remember, you didn't make it just to play around. It was a plan that you wanted to use. Okay, so this time I'm pushing my fingers a little bit more this way to get a little bit more height out of this. Okay, that's probably as far as I want to go. So I keep pushing in this way and up this way so I can get a little bit of height on this. Okay, I don't want to go too far before I do my next one. Well, that one's just determined to be a little bit different, isn't it? I think it's going to be all right. Now, here's an important note. So you're making multiples, right? And so you have to plan for, okay, well, if this was all the time that you had, then that's fine. You'd wrap each one individually and be done for the period. If you didn't have enough time to do the next phase on all of them, probably shouldn't begin with them that period. Just start them over the next period from where you're at so that you can do all 4 at the same time. That's really important. Meanwhile, let's say you still had a little bit of time in class, but not too much. There's always something more you can do. Heck, if there's nothing else to do, you can help me clean up a little bit. There's always a little bit of mess in class. Now this clay is really wet, so I think because I want to maintain that height, that's as far as I'm going to go before wrapping it up. That way, if I wrap them all individually, they will still firm up. The bags are good, but some air still comes into the bag, just enough so that when I unwrap it the next day or 2 days later or after the weekend, that it will be a little bit drier, thus a little bit stiffer, maybe a little bit easier to work with without it getting too wide here. Okay, so that's good enough for now with these ones. Alright, so when I go to wrapping these up, I'm not going to try and fit all these into one bag. I'm going to go ahead and give each one its own individual bag. So because we use so many bags, unless they're just ripped to shreds, we don't throw them away. We just keep reusing them and reusing them. For this project we needed 4. Maybe for the next project we'll only need 1 bag. That's okay. Just give me back the bags that you're not using. We'll store them. They'll be ready for the next time.